Hey, what's up guys? Will here for GSM Arena. With Samsung's entry-level M series, you probably wouldn't expect premium features, but the Galaxy M30 might surprise you with its large AMOLED screen and 5000 mAh battery. Let's check it out in our full review. Unlike a lot of other mid-rangers these days, the Galaxy M30 doesn't try to hide the fact that it's made of plastic. It isn't very glossy, and it even seems a little lumpy if you look too close. But Samsung did try to spice things up with this two-tone gradient paint job, and with the slight curves, the back design doesn't look half bad. For a phone with such a large battery, the M30 is not too thick, and the other benefit is that the camera is flush with the back, no wobbling here. The M30's main attraction though is on the front, a brilliant 6.4-inch Super AMOLED screen with a tall aspect ratio and a 1080p resolution. There's a small U-shaped notch cutout, but the bezels are quite slim, especially for this class. This is the only Super AMOLED in the Galaxy M lineup, and we appreciate those deep blacks. Everything looks quite sharp at 403 ppi, and brightness is great too. We measured 437 nits maximum with a manual slider, and 641 nits in auto mode and bright conditions. There is a selection of several color modes to choose from, and all of them are quite color accurate, amazing for a phone at this price. You don't have a notification LED on the M30, but there is an option for an always-on display if you want to check your phone at a glance. For audio, the M30 has a single loudspeaker next to the USB-C port. Loudness isn't impressive, scoring just average in our tests, but sound quality is decent, with no distortion at full volume. There is a 3.5mm jack here, and loudness is good with headphones plugged in. There is some measurable distortion though, and stereo separation isn't the best. There is plenty of storage available for your media. The M30 comes with 64 or 128 gigs of storage built in, and the SIM tray has a dedicated microSD slot on top of its two nano SIMs. To wake up and unlock the M30, you have a rear-mounted fingerprint scanner that sits flush to the body of the phone. The placement is a bit higher than I'd like, and I found this scanner to be pretty unreliable, especially compared to some mid-range competitors, including Samsung's own Galaxy A30. You do have the option to use Face Unlock, which is faster, but not as secure. The interface is Samsung's One UI, and the M30 has actually just received the update to Android 9 Pie. You have pretty much the same smooth software experience you'd get on any of Samsung's recent phones, including the flagships, except there is no Bixby Virtual Assistant here. Under the hood is a Samsung Exynos 7904 chipset, the same as in the Galaxy M20 and the A30. Processing power is adequate for everyday tasks, but the GPU lags behind the competition. Don't expect to have a great gaming experience with this phone. Battery life on the other hand is quite impressive. With a large 5000 mAh battery, the M30 earned a stellar endurance rating of 119 hours in our proprietary tests. Charging this big battery isn't super fast with the included 15-watt charger. We got from 0 to 26% in half an hour. But it's still okay though. Charging up to full only took 2.5 hours. The Galaxy M30 has a triple camera setup on the back. There's a 13-megapixel main cam, a 5-megapixel ultra-wide-angle cam, and a 5-megapixel depth sensor for portrait mode. During the day, the Galaxy M30 takes decent photos. It does an adequate job handling noise, and there's good captured detail. Dynamic range is good if you leave the auto HDR on, which we recommend you do. Otherwise, you may see some blown highlights. The ultra-wide camera has noticeably warmer and slightly more saturated colors than the main cam. The wider field of view is useful, though these photos have heavy barrel distortion, with no option for correction. The Galaxy M30's depth sensor does some good work in live focus portrait mode. These portraits look very nice, with decent subject separation. The M30's low light performance won't win it any awards though. These images have low saturation and highlights are blown out. Detail is decent in the reasonably lit areas, but there's more than a fair share of noise. Low-light shots from the ultra-wide camera are even less appealing. They're generally soft and blotchy. For selfies, the Galaxy M30 has a 16-megapixel front-facing cam. These come out surprisingly good. There's excellent detail and sharpness, true-to-life colors, and decent dynamic range. Videos from the M30 are rather limited. You can only record in up to 1080p at 30 FPS, and no third-party app can change that, and there's no stabilization either. Quality through the main cam is quite good though, with plenty of fine detail, pleasant colors, and just the right amount of sharpening. The ultra-wide camera's footage isn't quite up to the same standard, as dynamic range is more limited. They're still decent though. So that's the Samsung Galaxy M30. For around €200 or dollars, you get a beautiful AMOLED screen, exceptional battery life, a dedicated microSD slot, and a good selfie cam. It makes you wonder what phones like the Galaxy A30 are even doing in the same markets. This isn't a perfect phone though. Probably the biggest downside is the chipset. It's okay for web browsing, but if you're a gamer, you might want to look elsewhere. Now with that said, the Galaxy M30 is one of the cheapest options out there for an AMOLED screen. It does sit behind the competition both chipset and camera wise, but if you're fine with that trade-off, the M30 is worth considering. Thanks for watching guys, and see you on the next one.